But the I-Team is learning tonight thousands of people's lives are on hold along the Texas Gulf Coast. They're unable to rebuild their homes nearly a full year after Hurricane Harvey made landfall. I-Team reporter Brian New live for us in Port Aransas tonight with the reason behind all of this. Brian?
Yeah, so Kim, there are some homes around here that look like this that are well on their way to being rebuilt, but other homeowners tell us they haven't even started on their repairs since Harvey. And many of those blame that on the Texas Wind Insurance Association. This government-backed insurance was created nearly 50 years ago as a way to help those here along the coast rebuild after a storm. But some say it hasn't helped them at all.
The whole thing shifted. We had the piers and beams shifted.
When Hurricane Harvey slammed into Brandon Branda's home.
If you look at this pillar, you can see that it's cocked in now.
Brandon says the hurricane force winds knocked it off its foundation. Inside,
all the ceiling was wet, the closet was soaked.
Everything was soaked. The floors are now sloped. The bathroom is a disaster.
Obviously, it was a shock at first, so you come in and kind of see your place in the disarray and everything soaking wet, and the thought was, well, at least, you know, we paid insurance in case something happened.
When a field adjuster from the Texas Wind Insurance Association, commonly known as TWIA, came out, the adjuster ruled it a total loss, with the policy limit set at $165,000.
So did you get the $165,000?
No.
Weeks later, TWIA sent out a building consultant for a second opinion and then sent Brandon a check for $23,000.
But it was just completely unreasonable. It wasn't even 20% of the lowest bid to fix the house.
Brandon was baffled and devastated, and the I-Team has learned he's not alone.
It's dishonest, is what it is.
Attorney Rick Daly is suing TWIA on behalf of Brandon and hundreds of other coastal Texas families.
It has devastated some of those communities down there. In fact, if you go down there today, almost a year after the storm, it looks like the hurricane happened last month.
As a part of the lawsuit, Daly says a TWIA supervisor has testified that 80% of claims initially ruled a total loss were later lowered. In a statement, the government-backed insurance provider told the I-Team, it is not TWIA's practice to lowball or underpay claims. We remain committed to paying what we owe under the policy. Meanwhile, for the past year, Brandon has not only had to pay his mortgage on this house, but also rent on an apartment for his family. The worst, though, he says, is this was supposed to be his family's dream home, where he and his wife would raise their two kids. But for the past year, it's been nothing but a nightmare.
It's gotten to the point where the family doesn't like coming out here anymore. It's just messed up, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel at the moment.
So tomorrow we're going to be heading to Houston, where it wasn't the wind from Harvey that caused the damage like it caused here, but the historic rainfall. But much like many of the homeowners here, many homeowners in Houston are struggling to rebuild. We'll share their stories tomorrow night. Live in Port Aransas, Brian New, CBS 11 News.